Hey everyone, welcome to the Stolen Tricycle podcast. Here we like to talk about the daily goings on of life in quarantine, video games, current events, and we try for a touch of hilarity. In this episode, we have a special guest, Billy Baraw, from the new fan film The Crow Funboy. I'm Lucas Chassis.
I'm Justin.
I'm Rob.
I'm Ashley.
So how are you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing pretty good. Surviving.
I mean, generally exhausted, but other than that, things are going pretty well. I mean, I'm not dead yet, so
Pretty stressed out. Don't have corona, but
fair enough. What about you, Rob? How you holding up, man?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I've had a little bit more energy lately, so I've been getting a little bit more sleep, which has been different than the norm. So it's getting a little bit better. Feeling a little bit more positive. Still stressed out, but still doing all right.
You
Well,
must have
you know what?
transferred your lack of sleep to me.
You know what, guys? This is all really cool, but I know the reason we're all here and we're all excited is definitely not to talk about how we're doing. So, Rob, you want to kick us off?
All right, our special guest starred in the role of Funboy in the newly released fan film The Crow Funboy. Let's give a warm Stolen Tricycle welcome for Billy Baraw. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, Billy.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. This is really exciting.
Billy.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
All
Glad to
right,
be here.
Billy, tell us how you got involved with the project.
Oh, cool. So, The Crow Fun Boy is a completely fan-made film. We really didn't go out and get any permissions, but we saw that there was like a lot of success happening with like the Darth Maul fan film and like that Power Rangers fan film that came out as well. And the director, he has loved The Crow forever. Like our first sort of connection to it was we went and saw Nine Inch Nails at Lollapalooza like years
Nice,
ago.
nice.
And so like that mutual sort of like embrace of that sort of style kind of like started from there. It's a kind of long road, but I'll try to like sort of TLDR it. I worked on a commercial campaign called the Sitco Feeling Good Road Trip with Adam Indiego.
Oh,
And like I was part of the marketing arm and I would drive this van to the different shoot locations. And Ricardo was working for Sitco at the time in the video department. And for about a year, for about a week out of the month, we would just hang out with each other, shoot, have some fun, have some laughs. And he had the desire to get some projects off the ground. So he had this like really good idea for something called San Fran, which was about two brothers meeting together for like a crazy sort of night in San Francisco. And we went and shot the trailer for it, and it got successfully kickstarted. Um, and then after that, it turned into some sort of like mini movies, like some short films, like three short films that got released, I think, on Amazon. And then out of the blue in October or November, he called me up. He's like, "Hey, I have this idea for The Crow, and I would like you to play Fun Boy." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it." I don't look like Fun Boy at all, right? He's like, "Yeah, that doesn't matter." I'm like, "Okay, cool, 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 cool." So we went down to Houston um, and shot it in about 4 days.
oh wow.
And it was a lot of run and gun. And there were several sort of audibles that we made in order to sort of fit parameters that were a surprise when they kind of went a little haywire. But in the end, it was awesome. So that's kind of long and short of how I got involved.
All right, cool. So what was it like, getting involved in a project that has such an iconic character as the Crow?
It was a little intimidating because I didn't expect there to be a lot of relevancy still for like fandom for the Crow, but I was working over a place here in Chicago and was just offhand mentioning to some friends there that I was working on this project, and like people were lighting up about it, and they were like, "You're playing Fun Boy, dude? That's awesome!" So I did what I could to um, read the comic because he didn't want us to watch the movie again because he really wanted to focus on the comic the comic aspect of it rather than the film.
Right.
And so it was like this kind of awesome feeling that, we're not making this really for money. We're not really making this to be sold. We're just making this for the pure joy of A, making a movie, and B, making a movie about a kick-ass character.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
How did you get in the headspace of a character like Funboy? I mean, we've been talking for a little bit, and clearly you're not that guy. So
Yeah. It's pretty. It goes to some dark places, obviously. There's surprisingly like I've always wanted to like focus my career on darker characters. So, ironically, in the past, I guess in the past 5 years or so, some of the larger parts that I've played have been similar characters where it's just guys that are just like, on the other side of life that have not the best view towards women who kind of are like monsters. And like there's another film I shot down in Connecticut where it's essentially the same character where it's, in the movie, Funboy is not the main villain of the overarching story of The Crow, as you guys know. He's just one of the lieutenants. And like probably 3 years ago, I was playing a very similar sort of character where, there were some very hard scenes to be a part of and, some just absolutely brutal, violent scenes. And getting into the headspace, I don't know, having a lot of animosity towards some people in my past really helps.
fair enough.
My question kind of ties into that. It's like, do you find it more like mentally tasking to do roles that are darker like this, and compared to like other things? I mean, we've been talking to you. You're a funny, like upbeat kind of guy from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And when you do that, are you more method with it, or do you like snap into the role?
I used to be method. Like I used to think that to really truly understand, you have to like do this all the time, which is, incredibly counterproductive to society if you're a murderer. And and so I kind of shifted my focus to going from all right, I have to live this life to going down the rabbit hole of imagination, I guess. And so taking the time and really examining like in the script what clues you're getting as to what your character is, and then just letting your imagination take hold. Like there's a part in the movie where Funboy talks about this family, and the family's not in the movie, it's just like one line, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But like going down to, or at least what I was doing was, all right, who was his family? How many members were in the family? What were their genders? What was happening? Okay, what's worse than that? Okay, cool. But what's worse than that? And like you get to this like, or at least I get to this sort of place of like, I know I'm at the right headspace when it's really disturbing, but I like am having this like joy about it.
Okay.
And so that's when I feel like you've got there. And then being on set, it's just kind of like a playground to do what you can't do in real life. So it's like a safe space to go to those dark places and embrace that aspect. And then once it's done, it's done.
Okay, so it's kind of like an outlet in a sense to kind of
Yeah,
get rid of that negativity.
absolutely. It's a gift to be able to do that.
It's a great way to look at it.
It's good. I mean, I've been acting since I was 5, and there's been different sort of aspects to it where it's been I'm doing it because I'm being told to do it. I'm doing it because I want people to like me. I'm doing it because I think that this is my purpose in life. And then, I'm doing it because I love to do it and it's fun. Um, and then, yeah, there is like a sort of therapeutic aspect with these characters that I find.
Cool. Now we do have the trailer, So let's go ahead and roll that, the trailer for The Crow, Funboy.
Cool.
Why don't you die? Death is like virtues. Comes in degrees. I want it to end. The pain. Everything. Tonight is Funboy. Seriously, though, where's she?
With him.
Your daughter needs you. When you see that clown, shoot straight. You will see Shelly again one day. What do you want from me? You're all gonna die.
When we were watching it, Ashley and I were watching it together. I didn't know that it was only made in 4 days. Like we both looked at it, and we were like, "Wow, this is a fan film," but it's really good quality.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of fan films out there, and they could be either really really good, or really kind of shit quality.
Yeah.
The camera quality was good. I felt like the acting was fairly good. There wasn't like a lot of like the common errors you would see in like fan films.
Right.
So I mean, I was honestly surprised.
The core group that came together for this, Jason and I have known each other for probably about 10 years. We spent time on the road together. Ricardo knew the cinematographer, and they knew each other when they worked together like 2 jobs ago, so probably 10, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
All the extras were, for the most part, all the other cast members were friends, family, who he just called in every single favor, basically. And he had access to good equipment, and because he was used to the run and gun sort of style, he was able to make the most out of like what was laid out.
Okay, well, I mean that's great. You don't see a lot of fan films with connections like that. So that really explains where the the quality of like videography came from. I think that really helped portray the story you guys were trying to tell with Funboy.
Nice, yeah. That was big hope.
We've been chatting for a little while, and we're telling jokes, and you seem like a pretty upbeat, funny kind of guy. So when you're playing a serious role like this, do you find it difficult to like stay serious, or do you feel like there's a good amount of bloopers in there of you like cracking a smile when you're trying to be like stone cold dead serious?
Depends. For this one in particular, I was pretty much laser focused.
Okay.
So it was just because of the time constraints that we had, where it was like, we have to get this now. There wasn't too much joking on set once we were there. So I was pretty I was pretty keyed up into it.
Okay. I had to ask. I don't think I'd be able to stay serious the whole time. I would have, in certain scenes where you had to be like a very serious scene where you had to be laser focused, like you said. I know personally I would have laughed my ass off like getting face to face with somebody.
Oh, for sure. Like there's like, and like I've been on a good amount of sets. I mean, even with Rob, like we'd be cracking up, and in late into the night. Like there's this one part where like it's so crazy just how quickly seconds can become minutes and minutes can become tens of minutes. And it's just like, we're talking about this, we're chatting about this, and like even throwing in like a quip because you heard somebody say something, it's just like, now we're all laughing. Oh, we need to leave now? Uh-oh. So there's like one shot in the bar where it's like the camera's just kind of like pushing towards me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Crow is doing some stuff in the back, and I essentially sat in that chair for about 30 minutes while they were doing some other stuff, just watching like this. I think the Smurfs movie was on the TV in front of me. But I'm just sitting there, mohawk, gold tooth, pretty bomb jacket, and just sitting there watching it. And then boom, it was like, all right, we have one chance to get this. So set everything up and then just get it. So that's like that. So it was not the time to have too many jokes, but like afterwards, like once it was like, okay, you're good for now. We're out there bullshitting and having a good laugh about stuff um and just kind of keeping it away from the set.
Okay, I just imagine just getting real face to face with someone and then just slowly holding up a thing of Tic Tacs, like, bro. I mean, it's little things like that that would just make me lose it a little bit.
Yeah, that was what was cool about working with Jay, who played the Crow, because we have had enough experience together just in the real world where like we kind of got our giggles out together, our nervous giggles when it's just like face to face and it's just like, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, luckily, we've done that enough to each other having too many drinks. So
Fair enough.
So, kind of going off of Justin's question with the whole mentality thing, what were some of like the harder, like what were some of the parts during your during that whole thing for you as like your own personal, like really happy, lively person to have to play that kind of like really dark, intense, like terrible person role of like what was really hard for you to try to separate yourself so you didn't like get too like I don't know how to word it, like fucked up about it, because he did some pretty fucked up shit in the beginning that kind of like I was like, ooh, oh wow, okay.
yeah. Like separating it, like first, like finding the character, it was, like, I was given like some direction before, like, a month out of how the director wanted to, realize the character, what he wanted to see for it. And I was working for it and like trying to get there and getting pieces here and there. And it honestly wasn't until like I put like the awful shirt on and the gold tooth in where it was just like, all right, I got it. I know exactly who this guy is. And so coming out of it, and I think I know which scene you're talking about is, it's a brutal scene that is just, that is it's a very uncomfortable situation. And getting into the mindset of it is, yeah, you feel, I guess I just kind of let myself feel icky, afterwards. If that makes sense. I let myself feel like, nope, that was horrible, and you should feel kind of gross. Nope, don't feel like joking right now. Gonna need to take a minute.
One of those times where you gotta like sit in the shower for a little bit and really contemplate what you did.
Yeah, just kind of sit in silence for a little bit, and then come back out of it. Maybe someone will fart, and like that helps to like kind of like lighten the mood. But yeah, there's a process of coming out of it because you don't want to, like we were saying earlier, like you don't want. Now I'm still in that mindset. You guys want to go to the bar right now, and it's like, not with you like this right now. So you just kind of bring yourself back to reality and realize, we're on a movie set. Cool.
Yeah.
Play and pretend.
Separate reality from whatever you're portraying.
Right, exactly.
And that can be tough.
I imagine it helps at the end. I was gonna say, I imagine it helps at the end when like you're done filming and everybody stands up and laughs it off.
Yeah, that's why like rap parties are so epic because there's like such a blow off. You know what I mean? It's just
I
like,
have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure
I've never been to a rap party for a film shoot ever.
Yeah, I've surely never been to the most epic rap party of all time with you.
I don't know what you're talking about. There is not a single shred of evidence that has ever happened. There's no photos, no videos.
Oh no long-term friendships and relationships that came out of that thing.
Yeah, none.
I've missed Northeastern sarcasm. Being in Chicago, sometimes you don't get it.
And actually, speaking of long-term friendships, now Nicholas Carroll was our lighting guy on Boundaries of Attraction. And I saw that he was a part of this as well. What was that like, having him as the he was the assistant director, correct?
Oh my God, yeah. He was the driving force to make sure that we got this done. He was able to sort of wrangle Ricardo's like big picture ideas and then like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? And like Nick was like, are we still rolling? Still rolling. Like that was like the onset joke was just this, are we still rolling? Still rolling. Oh, okay, yeah, let's get this done. And so it was like a really good marriage between like laser focused sort of professionalism and Ricardo's passion for the project. And, Nick is actually a business partner of mine. We started a company or a film production company probably about 6 years ago. We released an app out on iOS called Capsule, which is a location-based video storytelling app where people can post stories that happen to them at the location that it happened. And then our users go and unlock that story and see the story where it happened. It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
And being able to work with him for the first time in a capacity where we're just on set. This was like the first time in 8 years that we were able to just be on set. It was like, it was going back to like how everybody was interconnected to the project. And that's kind of what made it go so smoothly. Like, because so many times, like when you get on set, there's like the first few days is like feeling people out and trying to be nice and, not embarrassing yourself or not judging anybody. But like, it's like Nick and I were just like, all right, let's go. Oh, we're all ready to go. All right, let's go.
I don't want to give away any spoilers, but in the scene where you first meet the Crow and you're in that building with the woman, and you two are kind of like getting physical, you and the Crow. That sounds weird, but like anger starts to build, and I feel like you meant to say "kiss my ass," you clown face or something, whatever, but you said "kiss my face."
I did.
You did. You said "kiss my face," and then you're talking about his like makeup, and I was like, okay, I don't know if that was intentional because your character was like doing drugs and things like that, and I don't know if he was like out of it or if it was like, oh, he fucked up there.
It was I think a very successful acting choice for somebody who is on as much more as Funboy was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go with that.
See, that's what I said. I think that's a very Funboy fuck up to say that.
It was an intentional fuck up.
Yeah, but you kiss my face, you ghost face ass.
But I saw it and I was just like really curious. I was like, oh, it fits if it was on purpose, but if it was a mistake, it still fits. But I need to know, so I had to ask.
Yeah, happy little accident, I guess we could say that works. I mean, I did just hit my head, or in the context of the scene, I did just probably get a concussion.
Yeah.
So.
That you were doing.
It was right after that part, so makes sense.
Yeah. So no, it was a choice. Did a lot of research in order to make it. Went back and forth with a lot of script edits. We didn't have a lot of time to really discuss it, but I felt it was important to stop production to make sure I said that, and Ricardo agreed. So.
I mean, it made it into the film, so.
It did. We did 17 takes of "Kiss My Ass" and we did one of "Kiss My Face," and that was all me.
I mean, Funboy just has this deep, loving feelings for the Crow, I guess. Kiss
right,
my face.
Right. He's very conflicted because he's like, I want to kill this guy, but make out with before?
Kind of want to kiss him.
Is it that kind of movie?
That could have been a very weird turning point in the movie.
Extremely.
I
think it's gonna go one way, and
it would have made the bar scene a lot more conflicting, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a Romeo and Juliet story of star-crossed lovers,
He wants to kill me, but I want to kiss him.
Well, kind of what's really funny is that that bar scene was supposed to sort of go on a lot longer than it did, kind of through the end. And like just because of time, we had to switch it up to what it ended up being. So that sort of walk that happens, that was sort of added as the transition, right? And I'm so glad that he cut where he did, because like it when he puts his hand, there was like one take we have where the hand goes on the shoulder, and then I look up, and it's just like it just looks like a Daniel Steele novel, you know? It's just like, and take me away.
No, wrong
So
place.
like, yeah, so I guess he had the footage to maybe make that movie, but I'm glad he didn't.
We may need to see if we can get that footage at some point in the future, because I really want to see that now.
I'll see what I can do. The lover's cut. Save Funboy through love.
The Crow
Oh, no.
Funboy, if they made it.
You know.
Oh my god.
So I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. There have been a lot of talks about a Crow remake, and it's been, it's going to happen, then it's not going to happen. It's been pretty controversial. What are your thoughts on a remake of it?
I think that it's definitely due. I mean, obviously the energy is there if we all spent the time to make our own version of it, with the hope of continuing the story to the rest of the crew. So I would say that, I mean, the 90s one is a classic, but at the same time, it's a classic, you know? So like there's a lot of 90isms to it. I mean, could you imagine a Crow like now scored by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross? Like even just the idea of that soundtrack existing is enough to say, just take my money.
I mean, even with modern technology, you can imagine how much darker and more in depth this remake could be.
Absolutely. And I mean, they could also, I mean, the potential is there to really like go into the story. I mean, I would like to see a Crow TV series, you know,
Ooh.
sort of a la, Daredevil, like getting, getting it there.
What about
Because
that's like a dark anime, not like a Family Guy style.
oh, kind of like a Castlevania
Yeah.
sort of anime kind of thing. It'd be awesome. It would fit perfectly with the art style of the comic. I don't know about it all being in black and white, but I think that there's so many avenues to go down
Mhm.
that, and I think that it's good, it's like people feel, a darkness. People have gone through unfathomable loss. And, since The Crow was made, and like, I feel like it's as good a time as any to have that sort of update. I can't say you can have a gritty reboot because it's pretty gritty, but having it more stylized with the influences that have come in the right hands would be awesome.
But what about the
Well
fact
said.
that they are talking Jason Momoa? Thoughts on that?
Hmm.
It's a different movie.
Completely.
I mean, Eric is, you don't think, like, what's terrifying about The Crow is that he kind of has the build of a normal guy,
Right.
like cut, sure, but like the build of somebody that wouldn't strike deep fear into the heart of you. It's like, as things are going on, it's like, oh no, this is a whole different other entity. I'm like, I mean, unless like Jason Momoa is fighting Ents, like it's like, well, obviously he doesn't have anything to overcome. I don't know, maybe Jason Momoa will go full method and just like lose all muscle mass for the most part and like really shrink
Hope
down.
he doesn't.
I don't think anybody, like, I think it would sell. It's a really good name. Um, Off the top of my head, somebody that would be appropriate in casting. that would be a name that would sell. I think that the only other person that I think that would be really good at it is the guy who played John Carter. What's his name? Like he was just in Waco. He played the preacher. He was in Friday Night Lights. Um,
I'm looking it up.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of research myself right now.
Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, Taylor Kitsch. I feel like he has the chops. I feel like he he can really bring a good depth to the character and have a good vulnerability that the Crow needs. And that over Jason Momoa, I would say. I would like to see him take the role.
I feel like Jason Momoa is too iconic of like an actor to be thrown into a role like that because he's I don't want to say typecast, but he definitely plays a very different type of role than you see in like The Crow.
Yeah, he's always a badass, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like if he's either he's either chopping people's heads off or quipping on a submarine and then killing everybody. And it's like I mean, here's the thing though. I mean, you have to be a pretty good actor to get to the level of Jason Momoa. So I'm sure he has the chops to pull it off. But you know, in terms of the audience wanting to see Jason Momoa as the Crow, I don't know. Will the audience go see it because it's Jason Momoa? Probably. I'd be curious. Be a little skeptical, but I'd be curious.
I would definitely want to see the script read on that. Maybe
Yeah.
not the movie with him in it, but I would be interested in the read.
Yeah, it's just like every time I see like Aquaman and he just says permission to come aboard, I'm just like, ugh, you know.
Unpopular
like-
opinion, I did not think that his Aquaman movie was good.
I thought the first 15 minutes of the movie was like, oh man, this is going to be good. And then I'm like, oh, it's going to be fine.
Yep. I saw it on a flight to Los Angeles about a year ago,
Yeah, man, I saw it on a flight too.
and I feel like that was the only appropriate setting to watch it in because you're like, oh, there's nothing else, you know.
Actually, I saw it on my flight down to shoot the Crow. Now
Nice.
that I'm remembering and not knowing anything about Jason Momoa. How about that?
I mean, what a crossover.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Shoot
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, make it. It'd be good. Jason Momoa, I would choose Taylor Kitsch over him.
I can agree with that.
Now, what was it like doing green screen work?
I mean, it was ridiculous. Like it was like the last thing we did, and it was, you know, I was just I mean, I don't want to like spoil anything, but let's just say that we were worried the neighbors were going to call because we were doing it in the director's garage.
Oh God!
So, and like, I think there's something on my Facebook, or at least something that he actually posted on his Facebook, where it's sort of a side by side, like, well, one on top of the other.
Right.
And one is the green screen footage, and the other the scene. And you just see in the green screen footage, like the director just trying not to laugh, while Nick is sitting on the sitting on the green screen, so like it doesn't move around too much when I'm rolling around on it. And he's just like, "Oh boy, when are the cops gonna come here? We're making weirdness. This is fun." So
It's not that kind of
It wa-
movie.
it's not that kind of movie. But if people think that it's a snuff film, they're gonna think it's that kind of movie.
I can just imagine trying to explain that to the local PD.
Man.
Just no, look, this is what we're doing. Nobody's getting murdered. Like,
Oh, it's easy.
Yep.
You just have Billy walk out in his green little onesie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
were you in a green onesie?
I was.
I
Yeah.
saw,
We
I
put
saw the pictures.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So yeah, we put the costume on over it and did whatever alterations we needed to make to the costume for the scene. And yep, straight up green onesie. I was solidly Green Manning. So it was fun. Like I'm like, what is this gonna look like? And like then he's just like, all right, start to crawl. I was just like, oh my god. So it was fun.
That sounds like a good time. I almost wish I was there to see that in person.
Yeah, if I can, I'll send you guys the side by side. You'll get a kick out of it.
Oh, great. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Somebody posted on my Facebook. They were like, "Oh, there's my new ringtone," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah, I saw.
no." Because like we also did it where like we were recording with a boom mic the next day just to make sure we had it really crystal clear.
Mhm.
And like listening back to that, like I felt like this must be what it's like for that guy who listened to that grizzly man get eaten, because it was just like so crystal clear and just not good sounds coming out. I'm like, I got 2 seconds of that. I'm good. I'm glad you got it. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, one of the most iconic lines that gets repeated throughout the Crow movie is Funboy and the other lieutenants doing the "fire it up." Obviously, that wasn't something that you guys did.
Yeah.
Can we get one?
You want to get a fire it up?
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Give me some context. What are we getting excited about?
Devil's Night.
Devil's Night. Fire it up!
There we go. That's all I wanted. That was it. That was my activity.
Awesome.
You nerd.
Hey,
Hey,
All
I
right.
mean, Billy's mug perfectly fits. Nerds rule, man.
All day.
Where in Texas did you guys record?
So we had most of it shot in Houston, and so we went to went to a bar to go shoot there. We went to some alleyways in downtown, the director's garage as well, a couple cul-de-sacs in some neighborhoods around this place, and then we also went to a town I guess that's where Adrian Peterson, where the church was. Adrian Peterson, the football player, that's where he was from. So we went and shot over there. So those were like the two areas of Texas that we did some shooting.
Okay, yeah, because the only time I've ever been to Texas was when I went to San Antonio. So I was just wondering like where exactly you were to see if like maybe I could have recognized any places that you went to. But
Yeah, no river walk this time. It was all
that's
Houston.
it's such a beautiful, beautiful walk, that
Yeah.
River Rock. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good
What else,
time.
Christian?
Cool.
All right. Well, Billy, we want to thank you for coming on to the podcast and talking with us. It's been great having you. Remember, everyone, to check out The Crow Funboy. We'll post the link down below. Thanks again for coming on.
All right. Thanks for having me, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Billy.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
and that'll do it for us for this episode.
And thanks everybody so much for watching. Make sure you check out our links down in the description. Go take a look at Billy Baraw's new film, The Crow Funboy. I'm Lucas Chassie.
I'm Justin.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Ashley.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.